In the previous episode, we learned how the standard American English came about. In this episode, we'll learn the prominent characteristics of the standard American pronunciation. They are vocalic R, vowel merger, vowel shift, flap T, and yod-dropping. First of all, the standard American pronunciation is rhotic. Rhotic means full pronunciation of all R sounds. In other words, R is always pronounced whenever there is an R in the spelling. The word rhotic comes from the Greek letter rho, as Greek letters are often used for the phonetic purpose. The standard British English, spoken by Londoners, is non-rhotic. British people pronounce the letter R only when it is the beginning sound in a syllable. If R occurs after a vowel, R is not pronounced. In American English, however, R is pronounced regardless of its position. British sometimes use R to connect two vowel sounds, like the idea of it or medial event. This use of R is called intrusive R. The intrusive R is viewed as a bad pronunciation in America. The idea of it, media event. Now, what do we mean when we say R is pronounced regardless of its position? R can come before a vowel or after a vowel in a syllable. When R comes before a vowel in a syllable, it is called the prevocalic R, and when R comes after a vowel in a syllable, it is called the vocalic R. In light of this terminology, the standard British English has only the prevocalic R sound, but the standard American English has both prevocalic R and vocalic R sounds. The prevocalic R is the consonant R sound, which can be found in rice, ramen, and bright. The vocalic R is the combined sound of a vowel and R sound. The vocalic R is also called an R-colored vowel or an R-controlled vowel. The name R-controlled vowel comes from the fact that to pronounce the R sound, the preceding vowel sound has to be modified. For example, consider the words large and large, both of which have the R sound. Clearly, the quality of the R sound is different between large and large. To say large, the tongue is flat, but to say large, the tip of the tongue has to be turned backwards with some constriction in the throat. Clearly, vowels with R sound different from vowels without R. For this reason, some linguists use notations specifically designed for the R-colored vowel. Examples are the hook addition, or the superscript turned R. Since the notations for the R-colored vowels are not standardized, we'll just use a rudimentary method using alphabet letters to express R-colored vowels, as is often done by speech therapists. American English has at least 7 R-colored vowels: R, air, ear, ire, or, our. Vowel merger, vowel shift phenomena. Father, bother merger, cot-caught merger, ant shift. Secondly, standard American English has fewer vowel sounds than British English. For example, the British back open rounded vowel O does not exist in American English. In Britain, words like hot, stop, cloth are all pronounced with O sound. In America, they are all pronounced with A sound. hot, stop, cloth. This phenomenon is called father-father merger, since in British English, father and father have different vowel sounds. Father, father. But in the US, both are pronounced with R sound. Father, father. Pushing the merger further, in standard American English, many words that used to be pronounced with O are pronounced with A. This phenomenon is called a cot-caught merger. Areas in the US where there is no merger, cot and caught are pronounced as cot and caught. But in standard American English, they sound the same, cot. There is also the vowel shift in American English. The most salient one is the shift from A to A. In Britain, words like
aunt, bath, laugh, class, chance, ask
are all spoken with the A sound. In America, however, they are all pronounced with the A sound.
aunt, bath, laugh, class, chance, ask.
Third, in American English, vowel length is viewed as a prosodic feature, not a phonemic feature. That is, the length of a vowel sound is not viewed as an intrinsic feature of a vowel phoneme sound. Rather, how long we should hold a vowel sound is determined by such factors as whether the stress lies on the vowel or not, and whether it is followed by a voiced sound or not. If the vowel is stressed, or if it is followed by a voiced sound, the vowel sound becomes long. So for example, bean is longer than bit. Fourth, there are sounds that are uniquely American. The most salient one is the flap T, which is an allophon of T and D. The sound is made by the tongue briefly tapping the alveolar ridge. When this happens, T and D are pronounced as sounds somewhere between and L. Flap T happens when T or D is placed between two vowels and the second vowel is unstressed, as in
butter, writing, wedding, loader. Due to the flap T, in America, these pairs are homophones, that is, they are pronounced the same. Metal and metal, riding and writing.
Fifth, in American English, the dropping of y sound is more common than British English. This phenomenon is called yod-dropping, since y sound is called yod in Hebrew. So in the standard American English, new is pronounced as nu, do or do is do, assume and news are pronounced assume, news. In this episode, we learned some salient characteristics of American pronunciation. Starting next episode, we'll learn individual phonemes and their allophons. We begin with the vowel sound.